How was it to work with two new people, and what did it bring to the band?
It was very interesting. It was very interesting. It's like, you know, being in a band is very much like being married. So it's like having two new family members, you know, and you have your hopes and your aspirations for the success of the project. But let's remember that Kiko's the only new band member. Chris was a session guy, so he's not in Megadeth. You know, that may change, but as of right now, he's in Lamb of God.
Yeah, but I think he contribute to what you were doing in
Yeah, of
in
course.
the studio? Yeah,
As a session guy, unless the producer hires the session guy who is just a utility player, they're going to contribute something. You know, and you want to, as a producer, hire a session guy that has enough creativity that he will bring something different to the party. Because if he's just a guy that says, "Okay, tell me what to play," it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Come on, you're a drummer. You know, because there are certain things that a drummer will innately know how to do better than I would. You know, I know how to keep time. I know all kinds of crazy drum beats, and have written drum parts. Drum part for Five Magics, drum part for Rust in Peace Polaris. Those are parts that I wrote. But having a drummer come in and know, or having Kiko come in and know. Kiko comes from Brazil, which has a very different musical background. The history and style of their music is very beautiful, but it's very, very far away from what Megadeth does. So I had to be the songwriter, band leader, producer, and figure out how to make those two worlds blend. And I think I did a good job at it.
What is the sort of musical background that Brazil had, and that he did bring for you?
Well, Brazil has a lot of diversified musical styles, but you know, I don't even know how to list them all. That would be a better question for him. So for me, what I wanted to do was really employ the tribal elements of that music, a lot of the rhythms and stuff, as well as a lot of the different scales and modalities that some of the more melodic tropical stuff is, a lot of the more Eastern sounding stuff is. You know, and Kiko has a vast wealth of guitar education, and he never ceases to amaze me. When we were in the studio, every day was just like Christmas for me.
And what did Chris bring? I mean, drum-wise for you, that you had to write maybe more differently?
I wrote probably a little bit more of the drum parts for Chris than I think I would have had he been a band member, because I think, again, you have to know what the word session means. Session means the guy comes to the session, and that's basically when you start. You know, we haven't been in a band together for 5 years, and hey, we're going in the studio next month. Okay, be ready. Okay, I'll be ready. You know, you go in and you say, okay, hit it, Lefty, and then you start recording the songs.
Was it important for you that the album charted at number 3? Was it something important, or is it not important?
Yeah, it's important. I think all that stuff's important. It's relative. And numbers, they may not matter as much to the musician as they do to other people, but they matter. They matter to vendors, sponsors, promoters, record labels, radio programmers, and stuff like that. Because I can guarantee you, if I put out my record and it came in at number 100 versus number 3, and it really came in at number 2 on the record sales chart, and Billboard in America combines streaming with record sales now. So you take out Justin Bieber and his streaming, and you look at the record sales charts, it's Adele than us. And here we go back to when Countdown to Extinction came out, and you have Billy Ray Cyrus with Some Gave All and Countdown to Extinction, and I was like, who's this Billy Ray Cyrus guy? Why can't we get our number 1? And you know, I learned now, so when this came out and Adele was in the number 1 spot, you kind of realize that that chart is a big melange of different artists. I remember when they rolled country music into the pop charts, I was like, what are they doing? Why are you adding country to the pop charts?
So what do you think then? Should there be different charts then? I mean,
I think so. I think so. I think it should be a little more genre specific.
Yeah.
And if it says the top 200 records, yeah, that's cool. that's cool. But if it's the top 200 pop records, it should be pop.
Well, what does it say to you that, well, let me check, Counter to Extinction was 92.
Huh?
Now you have Dystopia 24 years later. You're still, well, top 2, top 3. How do you explain your longevity? How do you explain it?
I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to know.
Yeah. But
I don't know. I think it's just being honest to people. You know, sometimes people don't want you to be honest with them.
And well, you are honest.
Sometimes to a fault. I think sometimes I can be blunt, and I think that it's hurt people. It's hurt me. There's things I've said I regret, but would I change anything? No. I love being right here at this moment, and if I changed anything, who knows where we'd be.
No, but I think if you've released 15 albums, I think. 15?
At least.
Yes, at least 15. If you set out to do a new album, what is your main motivation? If you enter the studio and you write, what?
I think a lot of it was, there was some stuff that happened during the summer of 2014 and the whole year of 2015 that really had frustrated us and made us do some big changes with management, with our staff. A couple band members that left, and just knew that I wanted to go back to my roots. And I had said that back after Cryptic Writings when Marty Friedman was in the band. I said, we need to go back to our roots, and he quit. Because he wanted to become even more alternative than Cryptic Writings was. And I couldn't go any further. And you see where Marty Friedman's at. He pursued his alternative life. Now he's happy. I'm happy, you know. But I couldn't go that way. I couldn't take Megadeth into that world.
Why not?
Because Megadeth isn't an alternative band. It's a metal band.
Yeah, but sometimes people say, well, it's just about our journey. Or you say, no, Megadeth is about this. So sometimes people say, well...
So anyways, the thing about pop music and where we're at, and having Marty, having Nick, having any of the guys that have played with us in the past, you know, where they take the music, that's their own contribution. And I think that metal music is a lot different from pop music. What does pop music mean? It stands for popular. So it's the stuff that you hear on the radio, like Rihanna, Beyonce, and stuff like that. You know, it's not music that I particularly listen to. I like listening to music that makes me want to fight. You know, that makes me want to drive fast. That makes me want to, you know, do things. And I'm not a big fan of dance tracks. Never have been. So I think that's the beauty of the uniqueness of all of us as people. We're all different. We all have different music tastes that we like.
There's a song on the album that's called Fatal Illusion, and you think that fatal illusion to believe evil never dies. What triggered that song for you to write?
Well, what?
What triggered that song for you to write Fatal Illusion and this line, this theme?
Well, that's a fantasy. It's a make-believe story, obviously. And I'm sure, though, if you look over history, you're going to find somebody somewhere that there was a failed execution and that person came back and tried to get revenge on whatever happened. Now, this is a story of revenge on steroids, but, you know, I think sometimes it's up to the chef how much salt to use. And in this song, I wanted to really get my point across. It's a fast song. I wanted the lyrics to be extreme, and the end part where it says "evil never dies," I don't think at this point right now that it will die. I know in my eyes, what I've seen traveling around the world, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of injustice, a lot of poverty, a lot of starvation, stuff like that. To me, that seems evil. To know that there are people that are in that same area there that could do something to change that. You know, we've worked with charities constantly. I just bought a soup kitchen in Haiti recently to help feed some orphan kids down there a couple years ago. My wife and I did that, and I was just talking to David Ellison a couple days ago because he's doing a coffee And I had told him about, you know, if you do fair trade coffee, that helps out the growers. So we're constantly charity-minded with who we want to help work with.
What is my last question? What are your goals with your music? So what sort of goals do you still have?
I've made almost all my goals. I've got a couple things left that I want to try and achieve, but those are secret.
Okay. And what is one or two goals that you actually did achieve for you? That you when you set out in making music, what sort of goals did you have back then that you've now achieved?
That I failed to achieve?
No, that you did achieve.
Oh, yeah, a lot. Platinum, multi-platinum, Grammy Awards, all kinds of awards, stuff. I've got tons of awards, so I've achieved everything that I want to. Like I said, there's a couple of things left, but we'll see what happens.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.